Okay, welcome everybody. Welcome to class. Thank you for coming. Good to see you all. The yoga word for today is the title of the last chapter of the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. The Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, which form the philosophical underpinnings for our practice of Iyengar Yoga, has four chapters. In Sanskrit, they're called padas, four padas, four books. And the last chapter the title is called Kaivalya. Kaivalya. So Kaivalya means independence. So what we're looking for in our practice is more and more of that sense of being dependent on the peace inside of ourselves. And at some point, we can become free of our minds, free of the thoughts of our minds, and we just fully recognize ourselves as this inner peace. And so that's the real goal of our whole practice, is to recognize, to self-realize as inner peace. So that's the yoga word for today, Kaivalya, and I'll be weaving it into the class as best I can. So switch the cross of your legs, take off any glasses, place your hands on your thighs, and start the process of moving your thighs down. So even bring the heel of your hand right up to the root of your thigh. Sometimes we do this in Virasana, right? And you're not pressing down, but just release that, soften there. See if you can have any sense of softening. And then once you have that, you can move your hands a little bit forward so they'll come to the middle of the thighs. And then start to lift upwards through the sides of your trunk. Bring your outer shoulders back and place your head right over your shoulders. Focus your attention on your breastbone and bring your hands there. And close your eyes. And bring yourself inwards now. Connect with your breath. Let your breath be soft and smooth. Untangle yourself from your day's events. Shift your attention to your practice, the practice of becoming more dependent on the inside, more dependent on that always present peace that's there, but easily gets overlooked as we get entangled. So yoga is a time to get untangled. So as you bring your eyes back and you bring your ears in, relax your jaw down, get collected in your heart space, be present there. And we'll do 3 ohms, and we'll also tonight chant the chant to Patanjali. Yogena chittasya padena vacham malam sharirasya chavechakena yopa karutam pravaram muninam patanjalim pranjaliranatosmi abahu purushakaram shankha chakra sitarinam Sahasra Shirsham Shvetam Pranamami Patanjalim Hari Om. Raise your chest upwards and bow your head down. And then release your hands down to your thighs with your palms upwards. Raise your head and then slowly open your eyes. Okay, stretch out your legs. Welcome again, everybody. Move the short edge of your mat to your wall and take downward dog with your hands at the wall. And then after we do that, we're going to come into child's pose. So if you need any blankets for your knees, oh, Anya's coming. Hi, Anya. If you need blankets for your knees, have blankets for your knees, nearby. Otherwise, just take downward dog with your hands turned out at the wall. Inner thumbs, inner index fingers at the wall. The short edge of your mat is to the wall. So the hands are at least as wide as the shoulders, and feel free to take the feet at least as wide as the hands, but maybe wider. It's our first downward dog tonight, so modify as needed. And straighten your arms fully. Make them longer and taller. Connect your hands to the wall, connect your knuckles to the floor, and connect your arms to your shoulder blades. Press down through the ball mounds of your feet and draw your legs up. So make your legs taller, longer and taller. And then right where you had the heel of your hand, move that back. The heel of your hand was at the top of the thigh. So now move that back. So you might feel like your abdomen starts to get longer. If you ever notice a dog doing downward dog, their abdomen kind of gets drawn up. They get really thin in the abdominal area. So you don't have to draw that up, but just as you move your thighs back, you might find that your abdomen starts to get taller. And then with your legs and your arms straight and your hips moving back away from your armpits, see if you can breathe, direct your breath into your side ribs, into the side ribs. That's it. Good. And now lightly come down and be in child's pose, big toes touching, knees apart. You might have to walk your body back a little bit from your walk because you want your arms to extend forwards. Take any props you need between your hips and your feet or under your knees or under your head. And then just grab hold of the outer edges of your mat and stretch it forward, extend it forward so you can really get, again, the root of your thighs to move down. It's like a deflation, like a balloon losing its air. The thighs release down. You might even feel like your hamstrings press into your calf muscles. And then the sacrum draws down. And then extend the sides of your trunk forwards. So at first you're just stretching the mat forwards, but then you can kind of walk your hands forward on the sides of the mat and extend the sides of the trunk, breastbone forward. Exhale your breath. Okay, good. And now let's come on up. Let's do another downward dog. This time, turn around, have your heels at the wall. I'm not sure if anyone has ropes there, but if you guys want to do ropes, just do one rope over each leg. Yeah, and then remember, your feet don't touch the wall. Your feet will not touch the wall. So those of you at home, have your heels against the wall. Your heels against the wall and walk back and walk out into downward dog. And what I like to do is just put these blocks here. Now you can bring your heels back into those blocks. So yeah, don't bring your feet so far back on you. Just let's see which. I guess you'll use these. And that's it. Does that feel okay, Marie?
Yeah, that's fine.
Walk your feet further out. Like that. Yeah, that's about the distance when you have, oh, you're doing the cross ropes. So come out of the cross ropes. I want you to do just singular ropes. What they're suggesting in India now is we do the singular ropes. So just this rope over this one leg and then the other rope over the other leg. Just try that. See if it makes any difference to you. Okay, so push your heels back into the wall and you can slide them down a little bit as you lengthen from the backs of your knees towards the heels, but keep your heels a little bit lifted. And then again, as you draw the kneecaps up, move again the root of your thighs back. Move it back and see if you can get that feeling, that bhavana, that feeling sense of your abdomen getting taller, longer and taller. And then as you straighten your arms, pressing your knuckles down, the index and the thumb knuckle, turning the tops of the arms out, see if you can have any sense of conditioning your breath into your side ribs. So when we start to work with the breath, we start to condition the breath and move it in different ways. If your hands are slipping, you can always hold on to the side edges of the mat. Yes, like we did in Adho Mukha Virasana. Good. Okay, now walk your feet forward, keep your head down. And as you come all the way to the center of the mat, those of you with the ropes, come all the way further and further forward until it's impossible to go forward. Keep your head down and then take your hands out to the sides in line with your outer shoulders. And let your head be down. Your hands are on the floor. Your fingertips are on the floor. Make sure it's your fingertips on the floor. And if you feel like it's a little bit tight, take your feet wider. Take your feet even as wide as the mat so that the outer edges of your feet are parallel. And if you need to, you can put blocks under your hands. If anyone needs to, you can turn around and put your hands up on the wall at the level of your chest and walk back into an L shape. Erica, that's really good. Take your hands wider than your feet, really wide, wider than the feet on the floor, and bend your elbows out to the sides. Be way up on the fingertips. Yes. You could walk your feet further forward on you. Yes. And then now, those of you with ropes, you feel that the ropes are really training the thighs to go back. So the ropes give you that feeling. Most of you at home don't have the ropes, so you have to just get the thighs to go back. That becomes your break. And then from your tailbone, can you lengthen down to the top of your head? From your tailbone down. Lengthen your side ribs down. Think of a waterfall kind of feeling. Relax your jaw, relax your tongue, keep absorbing your legs up. Super good. Now, concave your back, bring your hands under your shoulders, look forwards. That's it. Bring your hands to the hips, keeping your legs straight, and then up you come. Great. And now come out of your ropes if you have those ropes. And let's all turn the mat sideways now. Turn your mats sideways. And we'll just do, you can have your mat near to the wall. You can even have it against the wall. I'll just show. And we'll do I want to do some supported poses today. So grab a block as well. So we'll use the wall for support. So you have a block for your right hand. So just have that block on that right hand side and then stand in Tadasana and be pretty close to the wall. The block is just on the right side. You could, of course, have another block on the left-hand side because we'll eventually, go to both sides. So feel free to add that. But just at first, just stand in Tadasana. Bring your feet together, unless it feels better for your body to bring your feet hip distance apart. And then just get a sense of the floor beneath you, the wall behind you. So the thighs go back. The roots of the thighs go back. The top of the buttocks goes down. The outer hips draw in. Move your head back and move the sides of your abdomen back, and then raise your arms upwards. That's it. And just turn your palms forward for today. Let's do Urdhva Hastasana 2. And then make sure that you're not overarching the lumbar spine. So keep the sides of the waist coming back. That's it. So take the support of the wall and move your thighs back. Move the sides of your waist back. Lift your back ribs up. And some of you, your arms may not come all the way back to the wall. You might be a little bit forward, so don't worry if the shoulders are tight. You can also go wider with your arms. Good. And now bring your arms forwards and down. Good. Now bring your arms out to the side. Step your right foot out and then step your left foot out. So we're using the wall today. So you want your left heel will be pretty close to the wall. Okay, and then your right leg turns out and you have that block right behind your right ankle, and just have a tall level block. You could also use a chair, the seat of a chair, if the block feels too low for you. So lean back into the wall, have your palms forwards, and then reach over and then come down and just really go back into the wall. Yes. And then bring your left hand onto the hip. Just lean back and just look straight forwards. Don't worry about turning the head today. Just keep the back of your head into the wall. So again, move your left thigh back. That root of the left thigh, move it back. Make that kind of like your dharana. So the left thigh goes back into the wall, and then move your right thigh down. The right thigh moves down. The root of the right thigh moves down. That's it. And then roll your left back waist back into the wall. Move your head back and then lift up your left arm. That's it. Keep reaching up with that left arm. Straightening the legs. Nice, you guys. Left thigh back, right thigh down, left back waist back. Lean back into the wall. Really have the courage to take support. Yes, good. And then come up out of the pose. You got it. And then turn your right toes forward. Okay, and then you can move this brick away so you can get your right heel closer to the wall. Doesn't have to be all the way against the wall, but closer. And then turn the left leg out. And now this block comes in between the wall and your left ankle. See if you can go a little bit wider, some of you. Yes, go a little bit wider with your legs. That's it. But really take that support of the wall. It's a whole different pose. Abhijata says that if you do the poses with the back supported, it gives you physical sustenance. Don't we all need that? At least I do. So I'll speak for myself. So bring your arms out, straighten your legs. That's it. Lean back into the wall, palms forwards, and then go out. And then bring your left hand down to the block. And you can always be on your fingertips, or you could use a chair seat and then bring your right hand onto the hip. So as you press your heels down, draw your kneecaps up. Can you move the top of your right thigh back? The top of that right thigh moves back. Of course, you're bringing the left buttocks forward, but it still will be against the wall, but you're moving the left thigh down. That's what I'd like you to focus on, because when you move the thighs away from the surface, it can have a calming effect on the consciousness. When there's a calming effect, you can come more into that sense of inner peace. Move your right back waist back, right shoulder back, head back, without turning your head. Lift up your right arm and like rest on the wall. Lean back into the wall. Everything goes back into the wall. Your top arm, everything, just lean back into that wall. That right thigh back. Yes, like that on you. That's it. Move that right waist back. Deepen your breath. Just look straight forwards. So try not to turn the head today. Beautiful. And then reach up and come up out of the pose. Come back to Tadasana. Bring your legs together. That's it. Move your thighs back. Keep your outer hips in. Even have your head connecting. Interlace your fingers in front of you. Turn your palms forwards and raise your arms up. So make sure again, when you raise your arms up, that your lumbar spine doesn't push forward. And you may not be able to bring your arms all the way back. You might have to bring them a little bit forwards so you're not overarching the back. But can you move the roots of the thighs back? Can you move your back ribs into the wall? Yes, straighten your arms. Beautiful, you guys. Bring your arms forwards and down. Reverse the interlace and then go back up. Go back up with your arms. And as soon as you go up, move those thighs back. If I was there, I'd just be pushing my hands into the top of the thighs. Connect the top of the buttocks to the heels. Pull the sides of your trunk upwards. Relax your jaw and your tongue. These are looking well. Now come down. Okay, and then have a block for the right hand, and we'll do Ardha Chandrasana. So you have a block. You're standing with the right side of your body to the wall. The block is against the wall. Your right, both of your feet are a little bit away from the wall. I know you can't see that there, but so you bend the knees, you bring your right hand down, and then you go up. Ardha Chandrasana. And then lean back into the wall. Press your left heel into the wall. That's really good, Erica. Move the block a little bit further forward. Make sure it's against the wall and move your left leg higher. Yes, there you go. Just have your left hand on the hip. So make sure that your right foot is straight and then move the right thigh back. Move that right thigh back. Yes, move the left thigh back towards the wall and press the left heel into the wall. Move your left waist back and really lean into the wall. Move your head back. That's it, Marie. Move the head back. Just look straight forwards. Don't try to look upwards. Is that hammock in your way, Anya? Okay, good. And now raise your left arm upwards, keeping the right thigh hitting back, keeping the left thigh moving back. Yes, some of you can move the block a little bit lower. You know, you can see, as long as it feels like you're in a resting place, you can move the block lower. Yes, lean back into the wall. Dare to take that support. Rest. Yes, good. And now bend your right knee and come down and release. Great, let's do the other side. So you'll have a block in front of you. The block is all the way against the wall. Stand with your feet a little bit away from the wall. Bend your knees, bring your left hand down and lift your right leg up. Ardha Chandrasana. That's it. So make sure that your left foot is straight. That's the first thing. And then as you straighten that left foot, move that left thigh back. Slightly, I didn't notice you hyperextending your knee there a little bit. Did you notice that? So bend, that's it. Just micro bend that knee. That's a straight leg. Does that feel different to you? That's a straight leg. That's hyperextending your knee. Ooh, did you ever wear shorts before? Maybe I just never noticed. That's my bad. Bring your right shoulder back, bring your head back. Yes, draw that right waist back. That's straight, that's not straight. Now you're bending it backwards. Yes, if you keep doing that, it won't be good. That looks good. So can you move the left thigh back? Move the right thigh back, move your right waist back, lean back into the wall. Go ahead and lift up your right arm and just rest into that wall. And then some of you can lower the block a little bit lower. And notice if you're in the mode of always going for your deepest, most challenging pose. Is that your practice? And then see if you can come into a different state of mind where you're just taking the support of the wall. Yes, that's good. And now bend that left knee and come down. Very good. Okay, and then just bring your hips against the wall and then walk your feet forward so that the tips of your toes are coming to the long edge side of your mat. Okay, so my legs are at an angle, angular Uttanasana. David, you might want to have a chair in front of you, the back of a chair. Anybody else with back issues? Otherwise, just move your hands down your legs and see if you can bring your fingertips on the floor in front of your feet. You can always use blocks there. You can always also take your feet a little bit wider, but really rest your hips on the wall. Have the outer edges of your feet parallel. Draw your legs up. Walk your hands way forward on your fingertips to get that length on the sides of your trunk. And then only if it feels good to your body, hold your elbows. Baddha Hasta Uttanasana. Hold the elbows and move your elbows towards the back of the head. Yes, that's the way. Good. Just let your hips rest. If it's better to keep your hands on the floor or blocks or a chair, please take the support you need. And then switch the cross of your arms. Great. And now bring your hands onto the hips, reach the chest forwards, and up you come. Okay, so now you can bring the mat away from the wall because we don't need the wall so much anymore. But you will need a chair, so grab a chair. And then have a couple of blocks. And I find that the cork blocks or the foam blocks, the soft blocks will work better than the wood blocks. If you have wooden blocks, then put a piece of a sticky mat or something on the chair so that the blocks don't stick. And some of you may not need blocks. So I'm going to show different variations, okay? So I'll just show the easiest variation. I have a couple of tall blocks right on the chair. And then I have a bolster on top of those blocks. And the bolster is right against the back of the chair. So it's, you know, it's pretty stable. So that's the easiest. And then I'm going to do Parsvottanasana. So I have one leg's distance between my feet and I'm lifting, and then I'm just coming forward and resting my head. Okay, so that's a good position. And you could also use two bolsters, anything that's going to give you the height. And some of you might need to go higher than this. So put blankets on top. Now, some of you don't need that much height. You can go lower. You can forget about the blocks and maybe just have the bolster on the chair. Just have the bolster on the chair. So you can see what's good for your body. I want it to feel restful. And now we're moving towards head supported poses. So I want your head to be supported. Okay, so right leg forward, left leg back. Yeah, you can go lower with the blocks. Yeah, you can have medium blocks, you can have high blocks, you can have low blocks. You can come up and down and experiment, but have at least one leg's distance between your feet and have a heel to heel alignment. And if you feel like you need to go wider, and then place your hands on your props and lift your chest and straighten your legs and even out your hips. So the right hip has to come back a little bit, the left hip has to come forward, and then bend your arms and bring your forearms down onto the support. Yes, there you go, and rest. That's it, Diane, you got it. That looks great. So make sure that your right foot is straight. Turn your right toes more to the left. No, don't move your, that's just the toes. Your foot is like, that's it. Yes, there you go. So as you draw this right thigh back, draw the right hip back, and then draw that left hip forward. Does that feel okay? Yeah, your big toe mound comes up. Yeah, so take a slightly shorter distance. Yes. And put one more blanket on top of here. Try that. So as you press that right big toe mound down, take the outer right hip back. Yeah, Marie here with me has some support under the back heel. So if you find that your heel is coming up, it's fine to slip a folded blanket under the back heel. Does that feel okay, Anya? Yeah. So keep moving the right thigh back, keeping the hips even. And you're moving the left thigh back, but more from the inner left thigh. It's that inner left thigh that's moving back. Make sure that your legs are straight. What happens, NJ? Turn the bolster on its side. Turn the bolster on its side. Turn the bolster on its side. Keep your legs where they are. No, keep your legs there. Just turn the bolster up one. That's it. And now put your forearms on that. I think that's going to be better. Yeah, you don't need the blocks. Just have your forearms on that. Yes, I think that's better. Hug those hips in. See if you can straighten your legs even more. Tracy, that's very straight tonight. Beautiful. Nice, David. Okay, now bring your hands onto your support. Lift your chest. That's it. And now switch your legs. Left leg forward, right leg back. One leg's distance. Choose to either have heel to heel or go more like hip distance apart. Bring your hands down and lift your chest and even out your hips. That left hip back, the right hip forward. And then as you exhale, come down onto your support. And don't assume that it might be the same on both sides. It might be a little different, slightly different on one side. So make sure that your legs are straight. Pressing that left inner foot down, drawing that left hip back. And then can you move the root of that left thigh back, right where you had the heels of your hands? Can you affect change in that left thigh? It doesn't always want to go back. It's been going forward probably all day. And then with your inner right thigh, can you move that back? And as your thighs and your hips go back, can you feel any lengthening of your abdomen? Do you feel that same lengthening of the abdomen? And then if possible, direct your breath into your side ribs. Legs are straight, hips are even, head is resting. Let your breath deepen. Good. Now bring your hands onto your support, lift your chest, and then bring your legs back together. Great. Okay, now some of you can just move the chair to the side and you can do Parsvottanasana, classic pose, right? With your legs wide, come down and concave your back and then walk your hands back and put your head down. So Parsvottanasana. Others of you can continue to use the chair. That's fine. So I'm just going to turn my mat at an angle. Those of you who can do the pose, just go ahead into it. Those of you who'd like to work with the chair, you just can basically have the same or similar configuration, right? And then the legs are wide. That's it. And then you lift your chest and you come down and you rest your forehead on the seat of the chair or the bolster. And then everybody, once you're in your position, get that concavity in your back and then walk your hands back and take your head down. That's it. Nice choice, Erica. Make sure that the outer edges of your feet are parallel. If you happen to be near a bed, you can, and your bed is kind of tall, like about the level of your hips, you can stand really close to the bed with your feet wide and your toes kind of go under the bed. And then you just put your whole body over the bed. If you've never tried that, try that sometime. So straighten your legs. Spread the inner legs out. The outer hips come in. And really rest now. It's the crown of your head that you're resting. Lift your shoulders up. Those of you on the chair, it's more like your forehead that you're resting, right? Yes, that's good. Nice, you guys. Beautiful. Okay, and then concave your back again. Lift your chest, keep your knees, legs straight. And then bring your feet closer together as needed. And then come on up. Okay, so we're going to do another Uttanasana with head support, and I'll show a couple different variations. What I'd like you to do, if you can manage it, you'll need a soft block and a folded chair. So I fold my chair up and I have, again, my mat is to the wall. So I have the short edge of the mat against the wall again, and I have my foam block. And some of you might need a blanket. If this chair feels too much stimulation, you can put like a folded blanket over the back of the chair. But I have a chair here now, and I'll give another option. Those of you can't do this, not to worry. So again, my legs are at an angle like they were before, right? My feet are angled about 1.5 feet away from the wall. And then this chair is coming literally to the top of my thighs, exactly where we've been working. And then I just come down and I concave my back. And then I have this foam block in the bucket of the chair. And I just let my head come down. And I'm resting my head on that block. And the chair is going right into my thighs. Now, some of you don't need that. You can just rest your head all the way into the bucket. That's fine also. Or maybe a folded blanket there. You can see everybody's slightly different. If that's too much, you're going to be repeating this one. So you can have your forearms on the back of a chair. Just do this one instead if that one looks like it's going to be too much for you today. Okay? So Uttanasana with a folded chair. Have your feet at least as wide as your hips. At the top of the thighs, right at the top of the thighs. Yeah, just right where the ropes go. Just right where the ropes go, right at the top of the thighs. Make sure that your feet are angled from the wall, about 1.5 feet away from the wall. 1.5 feet, that's it. And then start to go down, concave your back. And in that concave back position, really move the chair into the thighs. That's it. That's it. And then you start to come down, walk your hands down to the bottom of the chair, and then rest your head on something. Rest your head maybe on the bucket of the chair, or put a foam block there. That looks good, Erica. Nice. And just fold forward over the chair. If that's too much, bring your hands onto the back of the chair. You're not folding the chair. Just have your, if it's too much for your body, just have an open chair. You can still be angular, but you can just rest your forearms on the back of the chair like I'm showing here. So press your heels down. The outer edges of your feet are parallel, and as the legs come up, let that chair move the thighs back and then just flow down, flow down. Let yourself be supported by the wall, by the chair, by whatever's under your head. If that feels okay, David, that's fine. I'm not sure about it, so just make sure you feel okay in the pose. Yeah. I would just unfold your chair, unfold your chair. And just put your forearms and keep the back of the chair towards you. You can stay in the same position. Stay in the same position with your hips at the wall. That's fine. Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, that's it. You can stay in that same position. There you go. I think that's a better choice for you. Good. Exhale your breath. Okay, now start to walk your hands up, concave your back, and then slowly take the chair away, let it unfold, and come up. Great. Okay, now you can move the chair to the side. And those of you on the ropes, what you can do is, you know how we tie a belt over the top rope? Tie a belt over the two top ropes with a very small tail, and then have a blanket over the belt, and then you'll have a bolster. Those of you at home, grab your bolster. We're going to come back to downward dog, but now we're going to have head support. So let me show you these two poses. So you have a bolster here, right against the wall. And again, if you need a blanket for your knees, make sure to take that. So you're just going up into downward dog with head support. Now your head is supported. And then we'll be there for a while. And then when you come down into child's pose, you lift this up. You lift this up and you come forward over the bolster. So the bolster is like at a slanted. It's slanted. It's really up in my abdomen. And it's great for your back. Okay, so those two poses, start with downward facing dog with head support. So the tail has to be really short, Anya. The tail of the belt has to be super short, like it's just this tiny little tag. Yes, like that, really small. Probably like that, that's good. And the bolster is going to be for your head. Yeah, so just now, and this one, your heels do touch the wall. In this variation, your heels will touch the wall. And then you'll have that bolster for your head. So those of you at home, push your hands into the wall, straighten your arms. That's it. And I'll add one more blanket there for you, Marie. Is your head touching that? Okay, great, fantastic. Then you don't need that blanket. And straighten your arms and make sure that you don't have to bend your arms. If you have to bend your arms to get your head down, that means you have to build the support higher. And if you find that your support is pushing your head up, then you have to move the support lower. So take the support that's right for your body. Your feet can be as wide as your hands or as wide as your sticky mat. Either way is fine. And as you straighten your arms and turn the tops of your arms out, rest your head. And now can you move the thighs back? So what we've been doing for the whole class, move those thighs back and lengthen the abdomen. And as you rest your head, breathe into your side ribs. Breathe into the side ribs. That's it. Keep straightening the arms, turning the tops of the arms out away from the sides of your neck, rolling your outer armpits down towards the bolster or whatever is under your head. Keep hitting those thighs back. Adho Mukha Svanasana with head support. Move the roots of the thighs back, reach the heels back and down. Breathe into your side ribs. Channel your inner fish, right? Breathe into your side ribs like you had gills. Yeah. And if it's coming well, stay another couple of breaths. If you're ready to come down and be in child's pose. And when you guys are ready, walk your feet forward. That's it. And then just rest your forearms on this. I'll bring the chair for you. That's it. That's it. And rest your forearms. There you go. That's it. So Uttanasana with head support. Great. So if you haven't already, come down into child's pose. Pull that bolster all the way up like it's drawing back into the abdomen. And then move your thighs down away from that bolster. Yes. And just rest your arms. Your arms can be extended forwards. You can hold your elbows. If it feels good to your body, you can even turn the head, but that doesn't always feel good for many of us. That's it. Good. Draw the abdomen back and the thighs down. Exhale your breath. Okay, and then slowly come up from the pose. That's it. Those of you who practice headstand, get ready for a headstand. And I would like you to do it at the wall today, so your knuckles will be at the wall, okay? And those of you not doing headstand, I'd like you to practice cross bolsters. Okay, so you have a couple of blankets folded into rectangle shapes. Yeah, if anyone has ropes at home, you can hang on the ropes for sure. If you have a back bender at home, you could also go over the back bender. So you have these blankets are here, 2 blankets. It's kind of like a makeshift bolster, right? Just 2 blankets. And then you have your regular bolster on top of that. So this is called cross bolsters. And then you have a belt. And you want to belt your feet, your outer feet. So you just make the belt about as wide as your shoulders. And then the belt comes around the outer feet. Make sure it's not on the ankles, it's on the outer feet. And then watch what I do. For this pose, make sure that your shoulders don't come down. Your shoulders don't come down. It's the head. And you can always have something soft under the head if the floor that you have is too hard. So I just start to come down and see how I'm just bringing the back of my head to the floor. My shoulders are not on the floor. They're off the floor. And I bring my arms out and then I scrub my legs forward. So this is called cross bolsters. And I'm pushing out into that belt with my feet. If this bothers your back in any way, you can just keep your knees bent and you may not need the belt then. The back of your head, so you're like at a slant. It's an arch. And like I said, you can always put something soft under the head, or you can also put a neck roll under the nape of your neck. But just make sure that your shoulders are not on the floor, because When the shoulders come down, it becomes a different pose. It becomes Setu Bandha, which we also do in cross bolsters, but that's later in the class. That would look like that. Okay, so let's be in one of those two poses. Headstanders, have your heels at the wall. And roll the triceps in and lift the biceps up. That's good. Let's move this out this way. And you can have your hands either this way, that's it, or this way. Yes. And you can even interlace your fingers and be in headstand position. Yes, doesn't that feel nice? Yeah, like that. Yes, isn't that nice? And you're basically in headstand. Isn't that nice? That's great. Good. So keep your inner shoulders lifting, headstanders. Lengthen the sides of the trunk, scrub your heels higher. Rolling the thighs in. That looks great, David. Nice. That's a nice, that looks good also, Erica. I hope that feels nice to your body. That looks good. And I don't want you to change it now, but I'm losing the light in your room, Erica. But don't change it now. You can do it afterwards. Yeah. Good. Now, those of you in headstand, if you're really longing to balance, it's fine. You can balance. That's fine. You can take a few moments and balance, but you just have the wall. And you're still moving the roots of your thighs back, but you're also bringing your sacrum forward, your tailbone forward. There's a deep connection there. It's Tadasana, inverted. Inverted Tadasana is headstand. So the thighs go back, the sacrum and the tailbone come forward, the inner legs go up. Relax your jaw, relax your tongue and your throat. Spreading the toes. Those of you in the cross bolsters, keep pushing your feet out into that belt so your legs are active. Good. Now, those of you in head balance, when you slowly bring your heels back to the wall, notice if one heel comes to the wall faster than the other heel. That's going to show you if there's any imbalances, if there's a slight twist. That's one of the ways you can see. Do both of your heels come to the wall at the same time? And then move the thighs back, bring the sacrum in, see if you can reach the heels even higher. Keep your shoulders lifting. That's it. And then when you're ready, start to come down out of the pose. That's it. And just rest your forehead. There you go, on you. That's it. And come down and rest in child's pose. Nice work, everybody. Those of you on cross bolsters, take your feet out of the belt and just bend your knees. And if there's room, slide back. If there isn't room, you can push the props in between your feet, or you can just roll to the side. You can see what's going to work best for your situation. Yeah, that's it. Just come out of it nice and slowly. Great. Okay, and then let's all come up, grab a bolster and 3 blankets, or a bolster, 1 blanket and 2 blocks. I'll leave it to you. And also your belt. So you have one bolster that's going to be for your spine, another blanket. Tri-folding it is a good way under your head and your neck. And then you make your other blankets. You can either have them folded or you can have them made into rolls. It depends on how open you are in your hips. Now, if you have any knee issues or hip issues, then make them into rolls. Okay, so you have these two blankets. Those are going to be for your thighs. And then you have your belt. And you sit about a fist distance in front of the bolster there. We're doing Supta Baddha Konasana, those of you who know the pose, and we're doing with the belt tonight. So I'll show you with the belt in case you're not remembering. So you have a big belt loop and then you put it over your body. And then this comes down. Make sure it's at that low underwear line, like the top of your buttocks. It's nowhere near your lower back. It's way down. Okay, and then this belt comes in between your thighs this way and around the bottoms of the feet. And then you bring the tail of the belt around so that you can pull the tail of the belt towards you to make this tight, taut. So you should feel like your sacrum is getting pulled forward. Make sure it's pretty far down and your feet are drawn in. And then once you have that, if you have knee concerns, don't bring the feet so close. And then these blankets come right outside the shins and the thighs. Make them thicker if you need to. And then you start to come down and you have a blanket under your head and your neck. It's always good if you want to, you can cover your eyes with something soft. Definitely take off glasses. Supta Baddha Konasana. And you can put this over your eyes, and then this over your eyes also. This. Mhm. There's a tissue. Good. And that feels okay for your ankle? Great. Make sure your head and your neck are supported and let your inner legs release and let the outer legs be supported. If your legs come all the way to the floor with no problem, then you may not need the support. That's the only exceptions, only if your legs come all the way to the floor without any support. Otherwise, it's good to have some support. And then let your abdomen become soft. Bring the thumb side of your hand closer to the floor and lift your shoulder blades into the back, making sure that the bridge of your nose is slightly lower than the forehead. And once you feel settled down, you can feel how that belt is also going over the tops of the thighs. So release the tops of the thighs down. So there's that same lengthening of the abdomen. Just notice your breathing. Notice any sensations in the body. You might hear sounds in the room that you're in or outside the room. There might be a slight scent in the air. Without clinging or getting attached to any thought, just let your thoughts come and go. Draw your attention to that inner peace, that inner stillness. And like you're drinking from a well, drink from the well of inner stillness, inner peace from inside yourself. Yoga suggests to us that no matter what's going on around us or in us, we can still find peace. It's not always easy for sure, but that's the invitation. Now begin to deepen your breath. Absorb the effects of this super important pose. And then turn your palms downwards. Move your hands back a little bit. Support yourself. Lead with your chest to come up out of the pose. And then take the belt off of your feet and just stretch out your legs. That's it. Release the legs. And then you can take the belt off of your body. Great. Now, those of you who practice chair shoulder stand, get ready for a chair shoulder stand. We'll do the first stage with the legs on the back of the chair, and the second stage with the legs straight up, and then the third stage with the legs in Baddha Konasana. If you'd like to make a hammock for the back of the chair for Baddha Konasana, you can do that. And I can show what that is in a moment. If you're not doing chair shoulder stand today, put your legs up on the wall on a bolster, and maybe a bolster and a blanket, a bolster, and then take your legs wide apart at first. So your first is to take the legs wide apart. Otherwise, get ready for chair shoulder stand or Vipariti Karni with your legs wide on the wall. So if you would like to do the hammock on the back of the chair, you just basically take that same belt and you just put it over the back of the chair. So it's just a little bit deeper than having your feet on the chair. It's the same idea. And then it just forms a hammock. You can have the buckle to one side. So your legs will end up there and it gets a little bit deeper into your hips. So that's an option. Don't feel like you have to do it. Okay, so those of you putting your legs up onto the bolster, just get your hips near to the wall and get your legs wide and make sure that the outer edges of your feet are parallel to the floor. Just have your toes going straight to the middle of the room. That's it, Diane. Those of you on the chair, bring your shoulders down onto the bolster. And then add another blanket here. If you're going to do that, add another blanket here as well. Try that. And then bring your arms through and hold on to the back legs of the chair. And then once you've done that, straighten your legs over the back of the chair. Okay, so you want to, you have to sit on the side of the chair, Erica. Sit on the side of the chair. Make sure the bolster is right near the chair legs, right near the chair legs. So it looks, you have your chair and then you have a bolster right in front of the chair. You can always have a blanket, here for your head as well. And then you sit on the side of the chair and you swing your legs over. Yeah. That's the way. And then move your hips back towards your feet. That's it. Lift your chest and then start to go down nice and slowly. Keep your legs hooked and bring your shoulders down and thread your arms through the inside legs of the chair. Make sure your shoulders come all the way down. And and then just straighten your legs, everybody, on the back of the chair. Straighten your legs on the back of the chair. Yes. So roll the thighs in. That looks great, Tracy. Back armpit to the front armpit. How does it feel on you? Is it okay? Great. Nice. Great. Relax the sides of your neck and your jaw, your tongue. Now bring your feet to the back of the chair. Make sure that your hips are resting on the front of the chair there. Keep your shoulders down on the bolster, back of your neck elongated, and then extend your legs straight up. Yeah, that's coming well now, Erica. I hope that's feeling good. Make sure to let me know if there's any questions, but it looks like you've really got it down now, so that's good. Roll the thighs in, reach the inner feet up. Keep spreading those toes. See if you can straighten your legs a little bit more, Susan. But I love the height of your chair. That's a good height. Yes. David, that's amazing. That's great. And that looks good. And Jay, Tracy, everybody is looking good, including you guys. Keep the legs fully extended. Connect with your breath. Those of you with your legs on the wall, bring your legs together now. Just have your legs going straight up. Your legs will go straight up the wall. Now, those of you on the chair, bring your feet to the back of the chair. And then if you have the hammock, find the hammock with your feet and then spread your knees apart. And you're going back to Baddha Konasana. That's it. Yes, keep the hips hooked on the chair. Otherwise, just rest your feet on the back of the chair as usual. Feet are together. Let your toes release downwards and your heels, your inner heels come upwards. And then maybe you can, if you feel secure, loosen your grip. Don't let go completely, just loosen your grip. And if you're feeling really secure, you can find a different position for your arms. But yeah, that's it, NJ, you got it. That's great. And relax there. Yes. Let the chair support you. Let the bolster or the blanket support you. Let the hammock support you. Good. Now hold on to the front legs of the chair. Bring your feet to the seat of the chair and then start to slide backwards until you rest with your hips on the bolster and your legs on the chair. Those of you with your legs up the wall, just bend your knees and slide backwards until your hips come in front of the bolster, and then bring your feet together and let your knees go out to the sides. So you'll be in Baddha Konasana if you had your legs up the wall. Otherwise, just rest there with your hips elevated, your legs resting on the chair. And then just push the bolster to the side and slowly roll to your side. We're going to do supported Savasana tonight. So that means you're going to use a bolster for your spine, like we did for Supta Baddha Konasana. So you have a bolster for the spine, of course, a blanket for your head, but there's a slight difference. The bolster, and you can have these two blankets also just folded like this, like the rectangle shape. Those were the ones that were under your legs in Baddha Konasana. So when you take Shavasana 2, just make sure that you're nice and centered on your mat. And this bolster should hit you more at the back ribs. So it's really nowhere near the back. See how I have lots of space there. And this comes right to my back ribs. It's a little bit below the bra line. And then you can have these blankets on your thighs. And of course, you take off glasses and you can cover your eyes again with your support. So this is Shavasana 2, Shavasana with support. We'll just take this tonight for our Shavasana. If you can weight your thighs to stay with the theme of the class, which is thighs down, that's going to be good. Just blankets or anything soft on the thighs. So bring that bolster down to the back rib region. Make sure that your blanket is under your head and your neck. And then you have that, legs are about as wide as the mat, and some support on top of the thighs. Palms are upwards, glasses off. If you want to cover your eyes, cover the eyes. So let your feet fall open, the little toe sides of your feet fall open. Let the weight, that soft weight on your thighs, just help to release the thighs down. And with that weight on your thighs, you might feel that lengthening of the abdomen. Turn your palms upwards and seeing that the thumb side of your hand is moving closer to the floor. So there's a nice broadening at the top of the shoulders, and the shoulder blades are tucked into the back. The back of the neck is long, top of the shoulders are relaxed. And the face is slightly sloped down. And then just become aware of your breath. Notice your inhalations and your exhalations. Notice if your inhalations are longer or shorter than your exhalations. Feel the temperature of your breath, the coolness coming in through the nostrils, the warmth coming out. And as you allow your breath to become more even, see if you can condition your breath into your side ribs. So the abdomen stays quiet with both the inhalations and the exhalation. The abdomen doesn't puff up. The abdomen stays quiet as you direct the breath into the side ribs. And if that causes you any anxiousness or agitation, just relax completely and breathe normally. Otherwise, keep your breath nice and even. The inhalations are the same length relatively as the exhalations. And you're directing the breath into the side ribs. You might hear the sound of your breath in the back of the throat, like the ocean sound in a seashell. And now relax the focus from your breath and just relax your legs more, relax your arms more. Soften the skin of your face so there's no expression on your face. Let loose your body and your bones, your muscles, your skin. Release yourself from any tension or stress or struggle or burden. Let your head rest in your heart space and let go. Now bring your hands onto your body. And as you start to deepen your breath, See if you can feel at all that inner stillness, and let that inner stillness heal your nervous system, quiet your mind, and bring you the wisdom that you need to be independent. And now bend your knees and roll to your side off of your props. And then slowly come up to sit. Bring your hands to your heart center. Raise your chest upwards. Bow your head downwards. Acknowledge yourself for practicing yoga tonight. Namaste. Thank you very much. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a beautiful Wednesday. Stay safe, and I'll see you soon, okay? Enjoy.